The BBC's shadow, a failure of protection and the devastating legacy of Alex Belfield. The BBC, a cornerstone of British broadcasting, stands accused once again, not of journalistic malpractice this time, but of a profound failure in safeguarding its own employees. This isn't a single instance of oversight. It's a pattern, a disturbing trend revealing systemic vulnerabilities within the corporation's internal mechanisms. The latest revelation shines a harsh light on this critical flaw. The case of Alex Belfield, a former BBC Radio Leeds presenter, and his relentless campaign of stalking and harassment against several women. In 2022, Belfield's reign of terror culminated in a 5.5-year prison sentence. His conviction stemmed from a harrowing stalking campaign targeting 4 individuals, including the prominent broadcaster Jeremy Vine. Yet, the full extent of Belfield's actions and the BBC's culpability has only recently come fully to light. The corporation has issued a full and unreserved apology to 4 female former employees, acknowledging its profound shortcomings in protecting them from Belfield's abuse. This apology, while significant, is insufficient to erase the years of suffering endured by these women at the hands of a man who wielded his platform to inflict psychological torment. Their ordeal wasn't a fleeting incident. It was a prolonged campaign of harassment, a relentless barrage of abuse that left indelible scars. While Belfield was acquitted of formally stalking Helen Thomas, Rosana Breen, Liz Green, and Stephanie Hurst, the court recognized the gravity of his actions. The judge unequivocally stated that Belfield engaged in a personal campaign of revenge, deliberately targeting these women and causing them significant psychological harm, necessitating extensive therapeutic intervention. The severity of his actions was underscored by the imposition of an indefinite restraining order, a legal barrier designed to prevent any further contact with his victims. The sheer fact that these women needed psychological support speaks volumes about the intensity and lasting impact of Belfield's abuse. The damage done transcends the legal definition of stalking. It's about the erosion of trust, the violation of safety, and the long shadow of fear cast over their lives. The BBC's apology acknowledges its failure to protect these women, a failure with far-reaching consequences. This is not simply a matter of inadequate internal procedures. It speaks to a deeper issue of cultural complacency, a systemic disregard for the well-being of its female employees. The question isn't just what happened, but why it happened. Why did the BBC's safeguards fail so spectacularly? Why were these women left vulnerable to such sustained and damaging harassment? This incident isn't isolated. The BBC is currently facing intense scrutiny regarding its handling of staff complaints and its overall management culture. The case of Tim Westwood, a former Radio 1 DJ, exposed a culture of bullying and misogynistic behavior, leading to a corporate admission of failure and a torrent of criticism. Furthermore, the BBC also issued a belated apology to the parents of a young person who previously lodged a complaint against the disgraced presenter Hugh Edwards, acknowledging a significant delay in addressing the complaint. These instances, viewed alongside the Belfield case, paint a disturbing picture of systemic shortcomings in the BBC's protective mechanisms, creating an environment where individuals feel unsafe and unprotected. The repeated failures to protect employees highlight a worrying lack of accountability and a systemic issue that needs immediate and decisive action. The superficiality of simply issuing apologies is readily apparent. What's urgently needed is concrete, demonstrable change. The BBC must go beyond performative gestures and initiate a comprehensive overhaul of its internal processes, ensuring robust mechanisms are in place to prevent future instances of harassment and to protect vulnerable staff. This requires more than simply revising procedures. It demands a fundamental shift in workplace culture, fostering an environment of respect, safety, and accountability. The BBC's credibility hangs in the balance. It must demonstrate, unequivocally, its commitment to safeguarding its employees and preventing future occurrences of this nature. The repeated failures to protect individuals like the 4 women targeted by Belfield should serve as a stark wake-up call, pushing the corporation to implement meaningful reforms that will prevent similar tragedies from occurring again. The BBC's future depends on it. The women who suffered under Belfield's relentless harassment deserve justice, But more importantly, they deserve to see a fundamental shift in the culture that allowed this to happen. Only then can the BBC begin to rebuild the trust that has been so severely damaged.